From the outside looking in, 45-year-old Ryan Borgwardt lived a pretty normal life in the small town of Watertown, Wisconsin. He owned a woodworking business and lived with his wife and 3 kids in what seemed to be a happy family life. You know, the kind of father you would never expect to leave his family, which is why his wife and 3 kids were worried sick when he disappeared from a fishing and kayaking trip.
The saga of the missing Wisconsin kayaker.
Green Lake County kayaker
Ryan Borgwardt.
Ryan Borgwardt,
a Wisconsin man
believed to have drowned, the father of 3
who faked his own death
by staging a kayaking accident
and fled to Eastern Europe.
For 58 days, search dogs and diver teams looked for him while his family grieved, believing his body was somewhere in the lake. But after all the searching, there were still no signs of Borgwardt's body. What they found, though, was his car, driver's license, and his kayak. After an extensive search on the lake with no luck, investigators decided to look for clues in other places, like his laptop. And that is where they discovered that Borgwardt had been planning his disappearance for months with a woman he met online. So let me show you in this video how he did it and what ended up happening to him in court. This is the story of Ryan Borgwardt, a married father of 3 who faked his own death to start a new life. It all started on the morning of August 11th, 2024, when Ryan Borgwardt went to church with his wife Emily and 3 kids. After church, he tells Emily that he's going kayaking and fishing. He heads about an hour away to Green Lake, Wisconsin. Now, it's important to note that Green Lake is not just some regular lake. It's huge and extremely deep. In fact, it's the deepest natural inland lake in Wisconsin, so as you can imagine, it'd be very hard to find a body in there. Later that night, at around 11:15, Ryan texts his wife and says he's about to paddle ashore and will be home soon. However, Borgwardt never came home, so Emily reports him missing. The next day, police go to the lake and search for him. They find his car, trailer, and some of his gear at a nearby park. They also find his kayak, which was flipped upside down in the deeper parts of the lake. His tackle box was found as well, which had his wallet, keys, and his driver's license. Later that day, 2 fishermen find a fishing rod, which Borgwardt's wife confirmed was his. This was an expensive and exhausting search for everyone involved. One of the most dedicated volunteers in the search was a nonprofit founded by this man, Keith Cormican.
After the death of his brother, a firefighter, Keith Cormican founded Bruce's Legacy, an all-volunteer nonprofit to search and recover drowned victims.
A search team from Bruce's Legacy using sonar to comb the lake.
He said, we searched and we searched.
I'd get up or in the middle of the night and because I couldn't sleep, and I would get up and get on the laptop and start going through sonar data.
Picture that's on the screen behind me, all the yellow is where Keith searched. That was every spot of that western water of our lake.
The stress of it, all that, and emotional feelings of wondering if I missed them. Did I let the family down? Did I let the sheriff's department down? Did I let the community down? By the time we got into day 10, roughly, I mean, it was evident to me that something wasn't right.
For 58 days, diver teams and dogs searched for him, spending thousands of dollars on equipment and staff. It's reported that Bruce's Legacy alone spent around $10,000 in equipment and repairs, but they still couldn't find his body.
I got my crew together, my 3 detectives and my chief deputy and myself. We met and we talked and we said we got to go a different direction. The direction we went was offline, and we found out that his name was Ron, digital forensic analyst of a laptop that we were given through the wife. Searching that, the disappearance that we have found that he was in some place in Europe.
So police learned that he used his passport to cross the Canadian border a day after his wife reports him missing. Everyone looking for him at this point is relieved now. They know there isn't a body to find in the lake. But on the other hand, it highlights just how evil Borgwardt was to have planned this whole thing, never considering how his wife and 3 kids would feel knowing that he died, and not even caring that he would never see his family again. After reviewing Borgwardt's laptop, investigators discovered that he took pictures of his passport and reported it lost. He bought a second passport right after that. and on the day he disappeared, he cleared his browser history and put a new hard drive in his laptop after he synced his laptop to iCloud. Investigators also learned that he was looking into transferring funds to a foreign bank through an email address tied to his bank account. For some reason, that email address was changed on the day he disappeared. They also discovered that he bought an airline gift card and took out a $375,000 life insurance policy 7 months before he went missing, which would have gone to his wife Emily, who he just celebrated their 22nd anniversary with. But it was obvious he wasn't happy with his marriage and family life, because when looking at his laptop, investigators found messages between him and a woman in Uzbekistan that he met online. They also found a picture of her, which is an important part of the story that we'll get into later. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security also joined the investigation. They wanted to find Borgwardt so he could come home to face possible legal charges, because he was facing 2 charges, one for obstructing an officer and the other for attempting insurance fraud. By staging his own death, he was giving false information to the police with the intent to mislead them, and he took out the life insurance policy knowing that his death was a complete lie, both of which he was facing charges for. During a press conference, the sheriff of Green Lake County announces that he's contacted Borgwardt through the woman he met online. They asked him a bunch of questions to confirm that it really was him and tried to convince him to come home.
Ryan, if you are viewing this, I plead that you contact us or contact your family. We understand that things can happen, but there's a family that wants their daddy back. Ryan, I beg you, give me a call. Christmas is coming, and what better gift he could give his kids is to be there for Christmas with him.
Borgwardt also created a proof of life video for the police at an apartment building where he lived to prove that he was safe and alive.
Good evening, it's Ryan Borgwardt. Today, hello Matt. Today is November 11th. It's approximately 10 a.m. by you guys. I'm in my apartment. I am safe, secure. Hope this works.
Police were talking to him on a daily basis. He said he left with $5,500 in cash. He told police he went home after church to grab a few things for his fishing trip, like an inflatable raft. Then he went to his woodworking shop to grab an electric bike that he just bought. From there, he stopped at a Walmart to buy another life jacket. His plan was to leave his original life jacket in the middle of the lake by the kayak to make his drowning look more realistic and to use the new one to paddle back. But Walmart didn't have any. At around 10 o'clock that night, he arrives at Green Lake and paddles his kayak to the deepest part of the lake with a child-sized inflatable raft. Then he flips his kayak upside down and tosses his fishing rod and phone in the lake before paddling back to shore in the small floating raft. He told investigators that he got hip deep in the muddy water, which made it hard for him to get out of the lake. This also left a muddy trail of footprints, which he did his best to wash away so that police wouldn't see him coming out of the lake. Once he was out of the water, he rode his electric bike all night to Madison, Wisconsin, only stopping to change his wet clothes and to swap out the e-bike battery that died. Then he ditched the raft, his clothes, and his bike at a park near a Greyhound bus station and takes a bus from Madison to Detroit and heads to the Canadian border. From there, he takes another bus to the Toronto airport and buys a one-way ticket to Paris. From Paris, he gets on another plane and arrives at the country of Georgia. When he lands in Georgia, he emails a woman he met online and she picks him up shortly after to go to a hotel together. By now, Borgwardt believed his plan worked and he was home free, but that's because he didn't expect police to be searching for him for more than 2 weeks. He told investigators that he spent a lot of time researching other people who disappeared. He told police he did a ton of research on lake deaths and wanted to know how deep a body would have to be before it came up to the surface. That's why he specifically chose Green Lake, because it's the deepest lake in Wisconsin. He was also looking into how he could bring money into another country without leaving any traces. Records show that he transferred money to a new bank many months before he went missing. He told investigators that he planned the whole thing and explained that everything was dependent on making his death in the lake seem real. One of the things he had to do to make it believable was to leave his laptop behind. According to Borgwardt, he thought he wiped his laptop clean and left no traces, but he thought wrong because he was using too much data when he was backing up his laptop to iCloud, which meant a lot of important information was still on his laptop, including a picture of the woman he met online. Police were able to identify and locate this woman and used her to contact Borgwardt. Borgwardt admits that he was madly in love with this woman. He said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her and even went as far as reversing his vasectomy. When he finally met her in Georgia, he got a job in an apartment with the intentions of starting an entirely new life. For reasons he would only know, Borgwardt decided to come home to face charges. On December 11th, he was booked in the Green Lake County Jail for a misdemeanor charge of obstructing an officer. He was released the same day on a $500 signature bond. The next day, he appeared in court and told the judge he was going to represent himself.
You do have the right to an attorney. You can hire your own.
I can't pay that money, so I'll defend myself. I have $20 in my wallet.
On August 26, Borgwardt pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor. He was charged with obstructing an officer because police used a lot of resources to look for him. His lawyer argued that he didn't need to come back and could have stayed in Georgia because his misdemeanor did not qualify him to be extradited. His lawyer said that he turned himself in because he wanted to take responsibility for what he did. He told the court that Borgwardt wasn't a danger to the community and had no prior criminal record. A Green Lake County judge sentences Borgwardt to 89 days at the county jail because that's how many days he avoided police after staging his death.
He obstructed law enforcement for a total of 89 days. He could have come forward before that time, but he decided not to.
The judge also orders him to pay $30,000 for costs related to the investigation. After all, search and rescue crews did spend a lot of time and money looking for him.
The judge made it pretty clear that he wasn't being sentenced for faking his death, but for the crime of obstructing an officer. It was a drain on police resources.
The money was split between the Green Lake County Sheriff's Office and the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources to recover some of the expenses used during the 58-day search. A district attorney from Green Lake County said that the two departments were actually owed more than $51,000 and that Borgwardt's fine was just a part of what was owed to the two departments. Borgwardt's wife Emily filed for separation and is looking to get full custody of their kids. When speaking to authorities, Borgwardt said that he didn't really get along with his family and was in debt for around $300,000. His mortgage was $120,000 and he had more than $75,000 in personal credit card debt. His business was also in the hole for $130,000. Ryan Borgwardt tried to hide from a life he no longer wanted so he could start a new one. Faking his death meant he was never to be seen again, but sometimes faking it doesn't always mean disappearing. A fake can sometimes be hidden in plain sight, like at a boutique where a woman was accused of selling more than $40 million in fake luxury items. To see how she pulled it off, check this video out right here.